So this question is, could you enlighten on what the Māyāvāda philosophy is and why we should strictly avoid it? Okay. The Māyāvāda philosophy states that Brahman Satya Jagan Mithya. Brahman or absolute truth is the only reality. And there is only one absolute truth. And whatever we see in this material world, whatever varieties we see, multiple living entities are there. You are there, I am there, he is there. So many other living entities are there. So varieties of living entities, varieties of manifestations of Jadavastu, the dull matter, the oceans, the planets, hills, mountains, etc. You have varieties of manifestations of matter as well as different varieties of living entities. Now, all of this, what you are seeing, the Māyāvāda philosophy says it is all illusion. Your thinking that you are a person is an illusion. What is reality? You are non-different from that absolute truth. The reality is, in illusion, you are thinking you are a separate person. Otherwise, you, I, you, all of us, we are all not different. We are one, actually only one. And that is the absolute truth. And that absolute truth is Nirakara. It has no form. And Nirguna, it has no attributes. It cannot be perceived by the senses. It cannot be explained by words. It is the absolute truth. That much only we can understand. And when you are renounced and when you are self-realized, when you attain moksha or liberation, you will merge your existence into that Brahman and you will no more have the feeling of an identity of a person being existing independently of that absolute truth. That illusion will be gone, over, finished. Illusion is gone, you are no more there. This is called Māyāvāda philosophy. Māyāvāda means everything what you see here is Maya, illusion. You see Krishna, he is also illusion. Vishnu is also illusion. Shiva is illusion. None of these things actually exist. This is called Māyāvāda philosophy. But what is the reality? Reality is, if you study the Vedanta Sutras, Upanishads, everywhere, what it states is that the absolute truth is a person. Vadanti tattvavidas tatvam jnanam advayam. Vadanti tattvavidas tatvam jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sapyate. The tattvavidaha, those who have understood the absolute truth in factuality, in reality, they understand that there are three separate features of the absolute truth. One is called Brahman or impersonal absolute truth, impersonal form of the absolute truth. Then there is the localized aspect of the absolute truth, which is known as the super soul or Paramatma. And then there is Bhagavan. There is one supreme personality of Godhead, one person who is the supreme absolute truth. The people who have fully understood the absolute truth, they accept that all these three are different aspects of one absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and his bodily effulgence is the Brahman, the impersonal Nirguna, Nirakar Brahman, and the Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna in this material manifestation. Therefore, all three are different aspects of one absolute truth, which is Krishna. Just like you yourself also can experience these three aspects. You are a person, you are an individual, you have a personality, you know that you exist, you have a sense of I, correct? So you are a person. At the same time, you have consciousness which is spreading all over the body. All through your body from head to toe, your consciousness is spread. Anywhere I take a pin and prick your body, you will immediately become aware that somebody is pricking me with a pin. Why? Because consciousness is spread everywhere. Now, if I tell you, where in the body is consciousness situated, can you pinpoint? You cannot pinpoint. What is the form of consciousness? Can you tell me? Consciousness has no form. It is spread everywhere. That is the impersonal, your own impersonal form. That consciousness belongs to you. It is non-different from you. It is not somebody else's consciousness. It is your own consciousness. So, you are there. You have consciousness, which is your impersonal aspect. And then you are seated in the heart, floating in the 5 kinds of air within the heart, according to the Vedic scriptures. So that is your localized aspect. You are present locally in the heart. And that is why you will see in the body, the entire energy for the body comes from the heart. And the life, when the life has to leave the body, the first thing which stops is the heart. Once the heart has stopped, you will say the person is dead and gone. If the brain is dead, you will say person is brain dead. He is in coma, but his heart is beating, he is breathing, so he is still alive. But if the heart stops, then over. You will not say heart dead person. You can say brain dead, but you cannot say heart dead. His heart has died, but he is alive. You cannot conceive of such a thing. That's because the heart is where the living entity is locally situated. So you see, all these 3 aspects, local aspect, the impersonal aspect, and the personality aspect, all 3 are there in you also. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Māyāvāda jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. All of us are eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we are part and parcel of something, we will have characteristics of that of which we are part. For example, Prabhupada gives the example, if you take a gold mine, and out of the gold mine, you take 1 gram of gold. It's a small portion. There are tons of gold in the gold mine. But you take 1 gram out of that gold mine and you check the characteristics of that gold, the chemical characteristic, it will be the same as the rest of tons of gold in the mine. There will be no difference. Another example Prabhupada gives, if you look at the ocean, tons and tons of water in the ocean. Now you take 1 drop of water from the ocean and you check its quality. You put it in your tongue. It will be salty. It will not be sweet. It will be salty. Why? Because the entire body of the ocean water is salty. But then the amount of salt in the drop of water, the amount of salt in the ocean, can you compare? It's incomparable. The amount of salt in the drop of water is minuscule. The amount of water in the ocean is tons. So the quality, but then the salty nature of water in the ocean and in the drop, both are same. There is no difference. So similarly, when we are Amsha, when we are part and parcel of Krishna, we have the characteristics of Krishna. So when we study ourselves, we can understand Krishna also has similar characteristics. But then, our difference is, we have limited qualities, the same qualities are present in infinite, unlimited quantity in Krishna. So therefore, my consciousness, my impersonal feature is my consciousness, is spread throughout my body, but it is limited only to my body. I cannot feel what is happening in your body. You cannot feel what is happening in my body. Why? Because our consciousness is limited to our bodies. Whereas Krishna's consciousness is super consciousness. He is aware what is happening in your body, what is happening in your body, what is happening in your body, what is happening in my body, what is happening in each and every living entity's body. Krishna is aware. That is his super consciousness. It is spread everywhere. Andantarasam paramanu chayantarasam. Even within an atom which is there, within this table, even what is happening within that also Krishna is aware. His consciousness is spread there also. And his consciousness has entered within each and every universe also. Andantarastam paramanu chayantarasam. Paramanu, atom also is entered. His consciousness has pervaded. Andantarasam, even in the universe, his consciousness has pervaded. So at every level, Krishna's consciousness is pervading, and therefore he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we, as a localized person, I am present in my heart. I am not present in your heart. Right? And you are not present in my heart. But Krishna is present in each and every living entity's heart as Paramatma. That is his unlimited localized feature. And then his Brahman, his personal effulgence is spread everywhere. The whole material creation is sustained on the Brahma Jyoti, on the effulgence of Krishna. So it is there everywhere. So by this you can understand that Krishna has these three aspects of impersonal aspect, localized aspect, and the personal aspect in unlimited quantity. So Krishna is a person, but his personality is unlimited personality. Krishna can be present in unlimited locations at the same time. Krishna is not limited by space and time. Krishna can assume a form bigger than the biggest. He can assume a form smaller than the smallest. So Krishna is not limited by any of these things. So that is his personality. Not like us. We are limited. We can be present in only one place at a given point of time. If you and I and all of us, we are sitting here in Dakshina Dwaraka Dham, we cannot be sitting anywhere else at the same point of time. But Krishna can simultaneously be present everywhere. That is why Narada Muni, when he came to Dwaraka, he became amazed. Why? Because he saw Chitram Batayatad Ekena Vapusha Yugapat Pratak Dhyashta Sahasram Griheshu Striya Eka Udavahat. Krishna is one person. But what is the amazing thing I am saying? Dhyashta Sahasram. He has married 16,000 queens. One shot. Yugapat Pratak. Simultaneously has married all of them. At the same time, individually, separately, independently has married all of them. How is this possible? Chitram, this is really amazing. Krishna, one person, is marrying 16,000 queens. Simultaneously, at the same time, separately. How is it possible? Krishna expanded himself into 16,000 forms. And each of them was Krishna himself. Narada Muni as a yogi could expand himself into 9 different forms. So, if another yogi expands himself into separate forms, Narada Muni would not be amazed, he would not be astonished. But then when Krishna expands himself, it is different. When Narada Muni or any other yogi expands himself into 9 different forms, what happens? All those forms are mirror images of that one yogi. They are mirror images. They will simply do whatever the yogi directs that form to perform. Otherwise, it cannot act independently. But when Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 forms to marry all the 16,000 queens, each of them was Krishna himself. This is what is really amazing. And that is why Narada Muni said, Chitram Batayadad Ekena Vapusha Yugapat Pratak. With one form, Krishna expanded himself into 16,000 forms, and each of them was individually Krishna himself. This is really amazing. That is Krishna's personality. We can be in one place at any given point of time. We cannot be in multiple places. Krishna can be in multiple places, unlimited number of places at the same point of time. So therefore, Krishna's personality is not like our personality, and therefore he is Bhagavan. He is Vibhu, we are Anu. He is greater than the greatest, and we are smaller than the smallest. So therefore, all these 3 aspects of the absolute truth, when we understand, belong to that Supreme Person Krishna, then we have understood Krishna in full. Whereas the Māyāvādis, they have only come to the understanding of the impersonal aspect, and they do not recognize the personal aspect of Krishna, and so therefore their philosophy is flawed. It is incomplete. So if you want to understand the complete philosophy, you have to understand Bhakti Yoga. Okay?